I am qualified on the WC-135 and the combat scent, cobra ball, and the rivet joint.
Most Air Force pilots fly different types of aircraft, but their squadrons usually have just one type of airframe in their inventory. The 45th Reconnaissance Squadron has 3.
It was pretty unique. I like it. Every aircraft flies a little bit different, and as an instructor pilot, I have to make sure that I am well versed in all of the different variants so I can teach and instruct correctly.
A fact that's not lost on his co-pilot.
It's a lot different flying the WC, which doesn't have the same engines as these. And I don't fly the WC, he does, but like you have to memorize a ton of different numbers and stuff, and the cockpits aren't always the same. Like this shows up red if it's too hot, but that's not the way in the old aircraft. So like he has to memorize 2 totally different sets of numbers and keep them all straight.
But he's not the only person in the cockpit who operates on multiple airframes. First Lieutenant Kali Io is a navigator on the rivet joint, cobra ball, combat set, and constant phoenix.
The difference for me is the orbits are varied, and sometimes the maneuvers might be varied as well. And it just keeps my brain young, thinking of all the different math that goes into that. So I have to make sure we have the right fuel, and we're there at the right time, the right duration, and we get home safely.
A responsibility she does not just for them, but for the crew in the back of the plane as well. Captain John Lee is the mission crew commander and says the entire aircraft team operates more like a family.
It's a mission first, but people always, and we stick by that. We are always looking after our people. It doesn't matter if they're the AC or the aircraft commander or they're the junior enlisted in the back taking care of our systems.
And the crew knows they have to look out for one another, because another unique aspect about the 45th is they can get a tasking from a different combatant command, sometimes on the same mission.
But it happens a lot when, we think we're going home, or we think we're going to stay somewhere for a while, and then we end up getting different tasking. But the crews work really well together, and we have a strong bond, and we know that the mission needs us where they need us.
And sometimes several different missions need them before they can go home.
Back to Cadena, back to Diego Garcia, to the Middle East, back to Diego Garcia in one trip. I've gone across the world probably like 3 times in one trip.
On our way back from Japan, rather than just flying over the Pacific, now we have to plan a trip through the Straits, so we have to look at all the diplomatic clearances and what countries we can fly over through, and like what weather is that part of the world experiencing right now, and different maintenance needs that might come up, and what are the capabilities at the different bases we're flying over, and can they support us? There's a lot of logistics involved. It's not just the flying.
And if all of that wasn't enough, the 45th also flies the Constant Phoenix for the 21st Surveillance Squadron, Detachment 1.
We are tasked globally to provide nuclear treaty monitoring, right? So to do this, we have to fly all over the globe, through all seasons of the year, to collect background data for the scientific community to analyze against, right? So AFTAC, the Air Force Technical Application Center, tasks us with doing this mission. And to do so, we use the WC-135, which is the Constant Phoenix, to do that. So we can't do, I'm a staff sergeant, cannot pilot this aircraft. So we've been working with the 45th and they pilot and nav for us, have been doing so for a very long time.
And everyone agrees they're proud of the work they're doing and the many missions of the 45th.
It's a very amazing experience to work in the 45th.
Be able to go all over the world and be just very dynamic and versatile. It's a really cool thing to be a part of.
I'm truly honored and privileged and grateful to be a part of this.
I think that makes us better pilots, better navigators in the long term, because we're able to be flexible and to ultimately get the mission done.
Reporting from the Lincoln Airport, I'm J.B. Artley for the 55th Wing Public Affairs, where the sun never sets on the fighting 55th.